Good morning, everyone. It's Promise Odera One. Um, Today I want to speak to President, former President Buhari's time in office. I want to see how much I could say on the topic about how he led Nigeria during his tenure. I've waited for him to be returned to the country and for him to be paid the last respect and put to rest before I can comment. And I'm purely going to comment on his governance and not his person. Because as we know, as Africans, we don't speak ill of the dead. But is there any good thing to say about President Muhammadu Buhari? I could say yes, there are a few of them. From a Southeast Igbo man perspective, he did one of the things that we really longed for, which was the second Niger bridge. Although not initially commissioned by him, it was commissioned by President Goodluck Jonathan, but Buhari delivered it. Yes, he saw that that second Niger bridge is built and delivered or completed. That's because it is the only entrance point to the southeast from the western and south part of the country, from Delta State. So there is always congestion during the festive period, and that bridge is getting weak and weaker. So it was needful that we had a second Niger bridge, and it was a hot topic for a while. So Buhari delivering that was good. Then the second thing was helping Mrs. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala to become the World Trade Organization president. You cannot achieve that position without your own country's president nominating you. And I think there were two names from Nigeria, strong names. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was one of them, and the president supported her even though she was Igbo. And the last one that he did, this one was about the whole Nigeria, was the federated single account. And I think he did that to be able to curb the corruption in the system. Although I think corruption is innate in us as Nigerians, and he didn't seem to achieve so much in his corruption fight or struggle, because even with the single federation account, there were so many issues in his government. The popular off your mic scenario in the House of Assembly or the Senate committee, where former Governor Ngige was, Senator Ngige was trying to reveal some of the secrets. He also mentioned some names that came to him and said they were sent from Buhari's office to come and take over. The whole NDDC mismanagement, all these things are corruption under Buhari. There was so much, but let me start from the beginning. When Buhari took up power, he showed that he was not ready, he was not prepared. And this is one thing that every presidential candidate should know. From day one, your inauguration, you must be prepared. I think Tinubu did better when he came in. You must be prepared to have, just like other countries, to have your cabinet set up fairly quickly and have the transition team, transition everything smoothly to your cabinet. It took Buhari 6 whole months to name his cabinet. The country was on autopilot. All these ministries didn't have a head for a while, apart from their permanent secretaries. Now, the first thing that he implemented as a policy, which was very shocking and damaging to the economy, was to stop Forex. He banned Forex. In as much as he was trying to eradicate corruption in that sector, he really affected businesses that depended heavily on importation and also exportation. There was no Forex. I was actually in Nigeria when Buhari took over. I went to do my NYSC then. There was even what do you call it? Would I say strike or delay because of him coming into power and everything? So I couldn't get to do the deployment then. So being in the Southeast then, a lot of business owners, importers were just crippled. They couldn't do anything. The only people that were allowed in Nigeria to get access to foreign currency were people that were going to Hajj or lesser Hajj. So people that were going for Islamic religious, what do you call it, pilgrimage. And the other set of people were people who were studying abroad. Students, of course, they know their children who are studying abroad will need foreign currencies. So those were the only two people that were getting forex at the time. Businesses were crippled. Now, I started asking myself, when presidents or governors or these our politicians want to implement policies, do they ask themselves one simple question that every sensible government should ask themselves? Where has this been implemented before? And did it work? What are the lessons learned? How did they implement it? Like somebody was saying a few minutes ago, I was listening to Geoffrey on Politics Today. He said subsidy was removed on diesel, on kerosene, and it was done in stages. So why was subsidy removed in such a harsh way when it came to petrol? It's always good that whenever you want to implement any policy, that you ask the simple, very important question: where has this been implemented? Because you will find out that so many things or things that you want to do must have been done before. Most things, apart from COVID, are things that you would easily go and learn lessons from any other government or country and just copy and paste the solution. Maybe tweak it if you have some unique, qualities and what have you. You don't have any alternative to foreign rice, for example, to feed the whole country, and you stop importation, thereby causing an inflation and multi-demand and less available supply. That was not well thought out plan. And this happened for months. So a lot of things started going wrong from there. So you will see that most of the things that Tinubu government is trying to fix is the damages done by Buhari's bad policies. Then moving on from the economy, I don't want to even talk about the Naira redesign, how many people that died, the people that protested in banks naked, people that couldn't even bury their dead because of they can't even access their own money because things were not managed properly. Ample time was not given for these things to be done. Money was not released to the banks so they can exchange with the old currencies. People were still hoarding their money. Sensitization was not done for people who are not watching TV or radio or stuff like that. People are in the villages. So a lot of people died because of that policy implementation. Poorly implemented, poorly managed. So that was, still going on. I don't want to talk about the Brutai incident, the Lekki shooting, which was well covered by the whole world. They were lying. Lagos set up an inquiry team which confirmed that it did happen. Compensations were paid, but come on, this lives in the memory of the youth. How can you shoot on armed youths? October 2020. These are some of the very bad things that this guy did in power. Now, Yar'Adua managed some of the security challenges that Nigeria had very well. Goodluck tried his best to manage Boko Haram. Yar'Adua managed the South militia and gave them amnesty. When it came to Buhari's turn, Buhari picked Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu was more vocal under Goodluck Jonathan. It was Buhari that made him even more popular by picking him up by extraordinary rendition. No, actually, the initial one, when he was arrested, was in his house, and he had to escape and go to Israel. But that arrest also led to the killing of some of his members or whatever. Now, you pick up Nnamdi Kanu, you pick up Sunday Igboho. We saw the video that he released, that he's happy that, Buhari is now gone. You pick up Al-Zaki, the Shiite leader. So every opposition must be shut up by fire, by force. That's what Buhari was more like a tyrant in a civilian government, or was supposed to be a civilian government. He didn't give any iota of listening ear to dissenting voices. These are some of the failures of President or former President Buhari. Then come the worst of them all, which was emboldening the Fulani headsmen. He became their leader. I think they used to call him the national leader of Mietiala. In fact, some of the folks or some of their leaders had like proper official government cars with customized plate numbers, federal style plate numbers, and they were driving around. Fulani Mietiala and the Fulani headsmen became emboldened and they started causing mayhem. The anti-grazing law was trying to be passed and Luga was trying to be pushed, but they said no, that they owned the whole Nigeria. They were going everywhere, damaging crops, fights and clashes with farmers. A lot of evil was going on both in Benue, every part of the country, everywhere was just being swept. Kidnapping started going on the rise, killings everywhere. Buhari did nothing but shut his mouth up. So Fulani became so emboldened because if you say anything, they will say their brother is the president. Some of those damages are still being suffered till today. Security went down so badly because of Buhari. It led to the ESN, it led to the Amotekun, it led to the Bubagu, it led to so many ways people try to checkmate and defend themselves. People were being raped in farms, maimed, killed, all sorts were going on. In fact, it resulted to farmers using diabolic means to be able to kill those cows to save their crops. Nigeria was very polarized. Nepotism was on the highest level. All his appointments were from one part of the country. It became so bad. Everybody started seeing things from the prism of tribe. He did not unite anything. He said, I'm for one, I'm not for anybody, and I'm for everybody. But that was not holding water. Because he said, for those that voted for him, he's going to work for the 99% and not for the 1%. And then he made some tribal marks like the Southeast is just a dot in a circle. How can you call one of the major tribes of Nigeria, a massive nation like Igbos, you call them a dot in a circle? That was the worst he can say about any people. He further went on to say women belong to the kitchen, demeaning his wife. And his wife even went to Dubai. I don't know whether she lived half of the tenure in Dubai or most of the tenure in Dubai. Went further to say the Nigerian youths are lazy. Something that even the foreigners or the foreign countries where Nigerians go to work, to live, know that it's a lie. Because most of us work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, sending money back home. In fact, if not those that live in diaspora, Nigeria will cripple because you can't get any welfare from the government. The hospital has turned to places you just go and just die because of how bad the shapes and things are in the hospitals. So it is people abroad that have been helping Nigerians cope with all these bad governments, with all these bad tenors of the APC. Buhari now went and discredited every Nigerian youth, causing us to lose employment, causing us to look bad in front of the whole world, that we are lazy. Now, having said that, things kept deteriorating. He couldn't perform in any sector at all. Then came Lai Mohammed, the chief liar of the Federation, the worst spokesperson you can ever talk about. They even sanctioned Twitter, they actually had to ban Twitter. It was terrible under Buhari. So for me, I'm saying all this to say he's been put to rest. But for the memory we have of Mr. Buhari, the shooting of IPOB protesters that were not armed in other places that led to them sitting at home instead, Buhari was a colossal failure. He was just a colossal failure.